April the 20th, Easter Sunday. I have 15 seeds here, honey locusts here, and they're all got their first leaves out now. This one down here and this one here just barely. I have one seed here that's not growing. Now I'm expecting that to be that one that I showed you that was just started to swell up on the one side. After I get these out potted, I'll check that one. I'm just going to put them in these little pots, and later on in the year I'm going to make up a place where I can plant them outside into a nursery bed. So like I said, the first handful I've got to pack down, and then what I've got to do, you see these are taller, but they're not all that big around. So what I do, make a big hole like that. Most people will just squeeze these days, and that's of course why the trays don't last, because they're flimsy trays to start with, and then when you squeeze them they just all break up. So if I release it from the sides like this, I did put a couple coats of epoxy resin on this. Don't know if you remember that or not. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I think the end broke off. Of course it is a brand new shoot, so it might not die. Getting that one out failed, so I'm going to have to squeeze the bottom. Lift it up like that. Get another pot ready first. I've got a video playing here that's not supposed to be playing. That one's starting to come out, so I'll see the root. That's the main root that comes down to here, eh? This is the one I got a little bit of a root coming out the bottom there. Let's see if it will break or will it come up. Well, soil all fell off it, but I didn't break the root this time. So the soil's not sticking to them, so I'll just put 2 fingers down like that. Do my best to get as much soil out with them as possible. I'll fill up the rest of them, and then I'll move them over. Need to get enough for 2 more, but I already have it mixed and I just need to moisten it. And while I'm waiting for it to moisten up, I'll plant these. There's a flat top screwdriver I have here, and because I've stiffened up the sides a little bit, I can just push the screwdriver down and slowly move the bunch of soil up. And not always. This one, the soil is going to fall off. I'm going to get a little bigger screwdriver. In fact, I'm going to use this chisel because it'll slide down the one side. It's narrow enough for that. And then I should be able to get it out with the soil better. Now I've got those 2 rows done. What is this seed here doing? Absolutely nothing. I can't find them. Oh well, I couldn't find the seed. This one, the root is out the bottom again. Now, it's 15. I'm going to put them up on the shelf and I'm going to write some labels and put labels in them. I already have 2 labels, of course. So these are the black locusts. And I have something biting off the tips. Now down right here, you see that's the seed leaves, and then that's the root. Quite a few, in fact, have been nipped off. Now this one here, the seed was sitting on top of the ground, so I can just make a hole like that and get this root down there. And do that. This one here is another one that got cut off. So I'm hoping now that the rest that hasn't gotten cut off, now that they're up that high, they'll go a little higher. I'm gonna wait for another few days. They do have their Well, for the most part, they don't yet. They're a little bit slower. And if my memory serves me correctly, when I tried this before, the black locust was slower than the honey locust. So we'll wait. Maybe next weekend we'll pot these. And this is what I'm not liking about these trays. I can't easily get the soil right down to the bottom so that it is in contact with the wicking mat. And you see all the parts that are drying out there. And I have to come by every once in a while and spray down the top to keep the whole thing from drying out. The tray is a little bit stiffer, and then even if I have the soil down to the bottom of the hole, there might be a little bit of a variation in the platform here, and that'll keep it up off the mat. And then, of course, like I said, I got a drying out cell. And this is what we woke up to Easter Monday. I have 15 of them that I have off. There's 8 that's off. And it's actually 23rd now. On black locust, you see it's got several roots. Now black locust, it will sucker from the roots. That's what my research tells me anyway. And that would make sense then that it has a root system like that right from the start. If you're planting black locust, like I'll probably plant a couple of these back where the black spruce are, and it'll be fine back there. But if you're going to plant them like close to your house or something, you'd probably need to plant them in an area where that you can mow all the way around them. Because, like I said, they do sucker, so I don't know. I don't think they will. Well, my understanding is they don't sucker until if you try to cut them down to the ground, then like aspen, they will send up a bunch of suckers from the roots. But if I'm going to cut one down, I'll cut it high up and see what happens. But with a fibrous root system like that, they shouldn't do fairly well. 31 trees, 16 black locusts and 15 honey locusts. Now we've had the honey locust planted for 4 days, and if you remember, 2 of them, the root broke, but after 4 days they all seem to be standing nice and healthy, standing straight up and firm. So I assume that they are going to live and continue on. Going to see if I can make a tool now. Because I'm going to be a little more serious with the cutting this time. Let's see how this works. I'm going to make a tool to get these plants out of here. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to do the proper grinder, but this is here are those tongs for the kitchen. So now I've cut both sides off. Flatten them out. Works perfect. Now to start up potting these tomatoes. They're just barely up, but with the tomatoes they'll be really leggy very quickly if I don't put them in a little bigger pot and put the light close down to them. I think this will be a big enough pot for the last until I plant them out, but we shall see. That make a hole. And this should be okay. You see, I planted them really deep, right down. Cotyledons are just above the soil. These cups, I didn't realize, they come with a little dome. And it's not too big. So maybe I'll put the dome on them and wait for the tomato to get up higher. I can put the light down like right here. Of course I have to label it once I get some labels. And that was a Beaver Lodge slicer. Now the other ones that's ready to come out of here are the cabbage and cauliflower. So this size of container, you see, really the ones that I've got the onions put in, they're shallower because you're just using enough soil so that you can put it in soil while it's sprouting. So you've got a very small amount of soil. However, I can grow it on for a few weeks in this. And so for the cabbage plants, they're not all that big when you put them out. And I'm going to move them over to this tray here. Of course, this doesn't work perfectly because I won't have the same amount of soil in every cell. But I'll do that, and then I'll check and see. See, I've got the occasional cell that doesn't, so I'll poke my finger down in every one of them. Make sure that that soil is all the way down, and it'll make contact with the wicking mat when I put it over there. Now I've got the soil right down to the bottom that I'll providing I can make the wicking mat perfectly flat. Then I can lay this on it and all of the cells will stay moist. Now I'm just going to spread soil over. I'm not going to compact this. Just need to make it a little hole. This is going to be Romanesco broccoli I'm taking out here. But there, like I say, these cells are big enough, I think, for it to grow on in here until I decide I'm going to plant them outside. Because it's only maybe 3 weeks before I can plant these out. I'll check. I have a Excel file here. One of the pages tells me when to plant this stuff. Cauliflower. I can plant this outside on May 11th, no cover. I can put it out now. This is saying I can put it out now with just a single cover. So I'll let it grow on a couple weeks in here, and when they're ready to come out of here, I'll put them out in the garden. If we have cold weather forecast, I'll put something over them, like -4 or something. Battery ran out. I don't know exactly where it ran out, but at any rate, I was saying that I had a little bit of trouble getting the piece out and putting it directly down in here, so I had to make a little hole with this little screwdriver. Then this one is going to come out really well because he was near the end. And just take it with very little soil on it. I need to pay attention to what other people are doing, but like I said, I think I can keep these for another couple of weeks, and in a couple of weeks I'll be able to put them outside anyway. I said I had to knock some of the soil off it so that I can get it to go down in that hole. This one got the stem cracked. So make sure I got it down in the soil past where the little crack is in the stem. why it cracked actually. I had some soil stuck on this and it caught the plant and pushed it down. Now, this is the Romanesco broccoli. Unfortunately, I'm short one to make a set of 10 here. So I'm not going to put any in that last one unless another Romanesco broccoli sprouts. Let's see, now the other one we've got growing is the Salissa violetta cauliflower. I did notice when I was planting these that I got 2 seeds in some of the cells. And so if that happens, and you got to separate them, you really got to take the soil away from them anyway. Now we got 3 left. That's because there's 11 along here, and I had 2 cells with 2 in there. Put a blank one right there. I only have 1 early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. So I'm going to put them in this single spot here. That way when I put this tray back, I can put the plastic As I was saying, when I put this tray back, I can put the plastic over it again until those other ones are up a little bit. So that was an early Jersey Wakefield. I've got to clean off a shelf before I put this back. One of the things I forgot when I took this off the shelf is that I take a piece of this is really thin plywood, and basically when it's up on the shelf, now this one here I could drag it over, But when it's on the shelf, I probably have to slip the board underneath it. Then I take it, I've got the board underneath here. I can slide that in like that. You can pick it up with the cloth. Slide the board out. And then there it is. As far as the top shelf, now I've got 31 tomato plants here. I think it's 32 I think I want, but I'll grow more just in case some don't sprout right. The trees, they seem to be all doing fine. I got 15 out of 32 with the black locust, but for the most part that's because there was a bug that chewed off the tops, not because they didn't sprout. And I've got 15 out of 16 for the honey locust. You see how dark the soil remains? The surface of the soil on this one, this is the one that I made, it's staying moist as well. As remember, I made sure I got all the soil down to the bottom on that one, and the soil is staying moist all the way through. So we're done hot potting for this week. There was no actual planting seeds, so there we are. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.